tu enseñanza. Y el bautismo en agua es solamente tu decisión para hacerla pública. Quiere decir que el bautizo en agua tiene que ser de acuerdo a tu voluntad. Cuando tú te sientas listo, cuando tú decides hacerlo. ¿Qué pasa entonces con el bautizo de los niños o los pequeñitos, los bebés? Ese no es un bautizo válido, porque la palabra nos dice, aquel que cree será salvo. Aquel que cree en que Jesucristo fue a la cruz para abrir ese camino de salvación. Siendo un bebé, todavía no tiene raciocinio, todavía no tiene el entendimiento del que tiene una vida pecadora y tiene una opción de ser salvo. Nosotros como padres no podemos decidir por nuestros hijos, porque la salvación es personal y es voluntaria, que tenemos que confesar con nuestra boca y creer en nuestro corazón que Él es el Salvador. Como criaturas que aún todavía no tienen decisión y no conocen lo bueno ni lo malo, todavía no están con la madurez ni sabiduría de decidir. Entonces ese bautizo que se dan a los pequeñitos no es nada en referencia ante Dios ni reconocido por Él. Vayamos a Romanos 6 y los versos 3 y 4, que es lo que nos dice. Nos pregunta el apóstol Pablo, ¿no saben ustedes que cuando nos unimos a Cristo en el bautismo fue como si hubiéramos muerto con Él? Pues por el bautismo fuimos sepultados con Cristo y morimos para ser resucitados y vivir una vida nueva, así como Cristo fue resucitado por el glorioso poder del Padre. Nos está diciendo primero en el verso 3 que tenemos que morir a la hora que reconocemos a Cristo como nuestro Salvador. Nuestro yo, nuestro espíritu va a morir en la cruz junto con Él, que ocurrió en más de 2000 años atrás. Y en el verso 4 estamos sepultados. Entonces ocurre primero una muerte, la sepultura y luego va a venir la resurrección. Y estos tres elementos, la muerte, la sepultura y la resurrección de Cristo, es el Evangelio. El Evangelio que nos presenta Dios, que son las buenas nuevas. Las buenas nuevas que si morimos con Él, tenemos entonces una resurrección en Él y con Él. ¿Y para qué resucitamos? Para vivir una vida nueva. Somos vueltos a nacer con Él y en Él. Entonces nuestra vida va a ser cambiada, va a ser transformada, va a ser circuncidada en nuestro corazón. Nuestro espíritu va a estar en comunión con el Espíritu Santo de Dios. Y he allí esa criatura nueva que nos convertimos, una esencia diferente de la que teníamos antiguamente antes de conocerlo, antes de recibirlo. Jesús nos ofrece a través de la cruz un cambio completo, una transformación, como una metamorfosis, es la palabra transformación en griego. La metamorfosis que todos conocemos de la oruga que sale luego a una mariposa hermosa, un cambio completo. Ese es el cambio que nos ofrece Dios cuando entra su Espíritu a morar en nosotros. En Gálatas 3:27 nos habla que todos los que hemos sido unidos a Cristo en el bautismo se han puesto a Cristo como si se pusieran una ropa nueva. Estamos en Él y Él nos cubre, Él nos protege. Nos dice en Colosenses que estamos escondidos en Él. Quiere decir que cuando vamos, no quiere decir que te van a quitar las ofensas, los sufrimientos, que tu vida va a ser un color de rosa. No, mientras estemos en esta carne pecaminosa y mientras estemos en esta tierra, vamos a sufrir, pero Él nos va a tomar de la mano y nos va a llevar a cruzar esa tormenta, esos sufrimientos, esos problemas. Vamos a ver la luz porque el Espíritu nos va a iluminar qué camino tomar, qué decisión tomar y cómo salir de ese problema. Ahora vamos a ser hijos de Dios. Como hijos, tenemos un padre que es responsable por la guía y crianza de sus hijos. Como padre, Él nos va a llevar por el mejor camino y no el nuestro. Muchas veces nosotros decimos, sí, yo creo en Dios, pero Dios está allá y yo estoy acá. Y yo voy a tomar las decisiones de acuerdo a mi vida, es mi vida. Quiere decir entonces, hermano, hermana, que no has entregado tu vida a Dios. Y si no la entregas, ¿cómo quieres recibir bendición de Dios? ¿Cómo quieres recibir su guía y su luz para tu vida? Él no puede depositar algo de lo que tú no le vas a permitir. Él no va a imponer nada si tú no le permites y lo invitas a que lo haga. Y ese es un problema muy grande, que muchos creemos que Dios va a hacerlo si Él quiere hacerlo. No es verdad. Dios no va en contra de su palabra. Mientras Él nos haya ofrecido el libre albedrío, Él va a respetar tu decisión. Hasta que tú le digas, Señor, obra en mí, que se haga tu voluntad en mí. Quiero que tú me guíes, quiero que tú seas la luz para mi camino. Él no va a entrar a tu vida, Él no va a ser esa luz para tus pies, Él no va a ser esa lámpara en tu camino. Él no te va a poner su solución o sus ideas en tu mente. Tienes que invitarlo en cada día. No, pero ya lo hice hace años cuando lo recibí. Cada día nosotros recibimos su bendición fresca. Está su gracia derramándose solo para aquellos que lo reciben. Dame, Señor, tu bendición este día para tu honra y gloria. Glorifícate, Señor, en este día. Te entrego mi vida para obrar y ser siervo tuyo para tu gloria. Entonces, allí es cuando el Señor va a obrar, va a derramar de sí en ti. Y muchas de las cosas que tú vas a ver que ocurren en ese día es solo por la participación de Dios que tú le has permitido. Y darle gloria y honra, reconocerlo en todos nuestros caminos, nos dice la palabra, y tener un corazón agradecido. Amén. Colosenses 2:12 nos dice, habiendo sido sepultados con Él, se refiere a Jesús, en el bautismo, en el cual también habéis resucitado con Él en su resurrección, por la fe en la acción del poder de Dios, que le resucitó de entre los muertos. O sea que ahora vivimos en Cristo Jesús, por haber pasado de muerte, sepultura y ahora resucitados en Él y con Él. Ahora Él entonces va a guiar nuestra vida a través del Espíritu Santo y nosotros lo vamos a recibir por fe. Entonces, ¿cuál es el verdadero bautismo? Ya vimos que el bautismo infantil no es una práctica bíblica. El bautismo bíblico es por inmersión, que quiere decir sumersión completa en agua. No es salpicarlo, no es echarle unas gotas o un chorrito, porque desde el Antiguo Testamento vemos que era una sumersión completa. Y eso es lo que nos habla, de acuerdo a las ceremonias en el Antiguo Testamento. Y también lo que nos habla en el Nuevo Testamento Juan el Bautista y los discípulos y apóstoles de Jesús. No todos los salvos pueden ser bautizados. ¿A qué se refiere esto? El ladrón en la cruz, junto con Jesús, cuando le dice y reconoce que es el Señor, y le dice, acuérdate de mí cuando estés en tu gloria. No tuvo tiempo de bautizarse, no tuvo tiempo, no podía bajar de la cruz e ir a ninguna fuente de agua. Sin embargo, sabemos que fue salvo. En una batalla, un soldado, por ejemplo, que se arrepienta, que busque de Jesús cuando está muriendo, no tiene tiempo de ser bautizado. Pero Jesús dice, aquel que llama a mi nombre, aquel que cree en mí, será salvo. Luego, alguien en un desierto, etcétera, en diferentes circunstancias y situaciones, etcétera, etcétera. No siempre todos los salvos pueden ser bautizados. Por eso es importante saber cuándo es un sacramento, qué es un sacramento, y cuándo es una ordenanza o un mandato de Dios, y qué significa uno y qué significa el otro. Un sacramento envuelve salvación, y sabemos que la salvación solo viene por gracia, que es recibida por fe en Jesucristo. El Salvador es solo Jesucristo, y es el único que fue a la cruz para salvarnos y ofrecernos ese camino de salvación. ¿Qué es una ordenanza? Ordenanza o un mandato de Dios viene a ser el bautismo, porque es para dar a conocer públicamente tu decisión interna y para ser testigos de esos cambios que vienen en tu vida públicamente. Y así como el bautismo también es otra ordenanza, la comunión o la Santa Cena. ¿Por qué se dan como ordenanzas? Los recordamos y los celebramos para darle honor y reverencia a nuestro Señor, a quien nos lo enseña cómo hacerlo y por qué hacerlo. Entonces, resumiendo, vemos que tenemos 3 bautizos. El primero es en Cristo, que es el Espíritu Santo que nos posiciona y nos da la condición de salvados para llegar a Dios Padre, llegar al cielo. En segundo lugar, tenemos el bautismo en agua, que no es otra cosa que dar un testimonio de tu decisión y tu camino hacia esa nueva vida. Y el tercero es el bautizo en fuego. En fuego es cuando el Espíritu Santo viene a ti y es Cristo Jesús que te bautiza con el Espíritu Santo de Dios. Y muchas veces, a veces es inmediato, a veces toma tiempo, que empiezan a hablar en otras lenguas. Pero el principal es el bautismo en Cristo Jesús, que es el Espíritu de Dios que nos mueve a llevarnos hacia Él, a acercarnos hacia Él y recibirlo y hacerlo Señor y dueño de nuestras vidas para caminar ese camino de salvación, el plan de salvación de Dios Padre que tiene para cada uno de sus hijos. Gracias, hermanos, gracias, amigos, por la atención a esta enseñanza. Espero que sea de bendición y haber abierto el entendimiento a cada uno. Hasta la próxima.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another program of To God Be the Glory. And today we are going to look at two parables that are both similar, in which they deal with a vineyard. One is found in Isaiah chapter 5, and the other is found in Matthew chapter 21. And as we examine these two parables, we'll see a lot of similarities, but we'll also see a lot of differences. So let us go to Matthew chapter 21. Matthew chapter 21. And we won't be able to finish this entire study in one day. However, I pray God's blessings upon it, that He will bring us to understand things that I've been talking about in my recent studies of how the age of the church has come to an end, and how God dealt with national Israel as well as how He dealt with the church. Two outward representations of the kingdom of God. That's all God used throughout the whole history of the world. And we will probably go study upon study in the book of Jeremiah later on, and getting even more of a clearer view of how this came to be, how God brought these two outward representations to its end. So let us go first to Matthew chapter 21, and we're going to look at this one vineyard that God talks about. And there are two representations of this vineyard in which God uses. Matthew chapter 21, beginning in verse 33. And it reads, "Hear another parable. There was a certain householder which planted a vineyard and hedged it round about, and digged a winepress in it, and built a tower, and let it out to husbandmen, and went into a far country. And when the time of the fruit drew near, he sent his servants to the husbandmen, that they might receive the fruits of it. And the husbandman took his servants, and beat one, and killed another, and stoned another. Again he sent other servants, more than the first, and they did unto them likewise. But last of all, he sent unto them his son, saying, They will reverence my son. But when the husbandmen saw the son, they said among themselves, This is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and let us seize on his inheritance. And they caught him and cast him out of the vineyard and slew him. When the Lord thereof heard, when the Lord therefore of the vineyard cometh, what will he do unto these husbandmen? They say unto him, He will miserably destroy those wicked men and will let out his vineyard unto other husbandmen, which shall render him the fruits in their season. Okay, we have here a vineyard that has been built and has all kinds of protection built into it. It has a tower. It has been hedged round about, and a wine press. And people who have been given the task of managing this vineyard, they are not willing to take any direction from the owner at all of the vineyard. In fact, they kill anyone who comes there representing the owner, even the owner's son. And the end of this is the owner will say that this vineyard will be given to someone else. And on the other hand, if we go to Isaiah chapter 5, Isaiah chapter 5, we read here of the same vineyard, but different caretakers of the vineyard. Beginning in verse 1, Isaiah chapter 5, now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard and a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it, and gathered out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, between me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down, and I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. Very important statement. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold a cry. Now we see here that both vineyards start out both alike. First of all, they are a vineyard that are both carefully cared for. Notice Isaiah chapter 5 verse 2, and he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it with the choicest vine. It was kept. The stones were taken out. It was planted with the choicest vine. It had a tower built in the midst of it, and a wine press was also present. so that all the care possible was given to it. Now let us go back to Matthew chapter 21. Matthew chapter 21 and verse 33. Here another parable. There was a certain householder which planted a vineyard and hedged it round about and digged a winepress in it and built a tower. And you see all kinds of protection has been built into both vineyards, so that in the beginning they are very, very much alike. And as we look at these vineyards, we're going to see that indeed they are the same vineyard. Except we're going to see that there is a development on how God uses that vineyard. Now, the moment we talk about a vineyard, what verse comes into your mind? And that would be obvious if you are a Bible reader. We tend to think about John chapter 15. John chapter 15. John chapter 15, beginning in verse 1. Christ says of himself, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. You see, the key to a vineyard is the Lord Jesus Christ. He is the one in view when we have a vineyard. And that's why if we go back to Isaiah chapter 5, Isaiah chapter 5, beginning in verse 7. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel. The vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel. And we're not surprised when we see this statement, because Christ is the vine and believers are the branches. But let us go back to Matthew chapter 21. Matthew chapter 21, so we can see how these two vineyards are one vineyard and how they relate to each other. And to understand the first clue to what Matthew chapter 21 is talking about, we must continue reading from where we left off. And we stop reading in verse 41. So beginning in verse 42, we read, Jesus saying to them, did you never read in the scriptures, the stone which the builders rejected, the same has become the corner? The same has become the head of the corner? This is the Lord's doing, and it is a marvelous in our eyes. Therefore say I unto you, the kingdom of God shall be taken from you and given to a nation bringing forth the fruits thereof. And whosoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken, but on whomsoever it shall fall, it shall grind him into powder. And when the chief priests and the Pharisees had heard his parables, they perceived that they spake of them. But when they sought to lay hands on him, they feared the multitude, because they took him for a prophet. So the first thing that we notice as we look at Matthew chapter 21 is that the vineyard of Matthew 21 is the nation of the Old Testament Israel. As it finally resolved, or it finally came to be, the Pharisees and the Jews that were living in Jesus' day. We see here that Christ planted a vineyard. And it was a very careful planting by God, as he put a lot of protection in it. Verse 33, where he hedged it round about. He digged a wine press in it, because he expected to get fruit. He built a tower. As we all know, that Christ is the strong tower. He is our strength, and he is our protection. He protects that which he planted. And of course, we are not talking about a physical vineyard, a natural vineyard that it is in the world, growing in the field or in a yard. But Christ is talking about a spiritual vineyard of believers. And of this nation and of Israel and the church both taking care of the vineyard. This is what Christ is talking about. And Christ is doing all of this in preparation of receiving fruit from this vineyard. That is the purpose of a vineyard. It is to reap the harvest of believers. And as we go on with verse 33, he built a tower and let it out to husbandmen and went into a far country. Now we read in verse 34, and when the time of the fruit drew near, he sent his servants to the husbandmen, that they might receive the fruits thereof. Now, the fruit of the vineyard would be grapes. It would be a harvest of grapes, of fruit. Verse 35, and the husbandman took his servants and beat one and killed another and stoned another. Again, he sent other servants more than the first, and they did unto them likewise. But last of all, he sent unto them his son, saying, they will reverence my son. Now we're beginning to see something we can understand. Because who is the son that God would send to receive the fruit of the vineyard? We all know this to be the Lord Jesus Christ. He is the son that was killed. I mean, that is the crux of the gospel. Verse 38, but when the husbandmen saw the son, they said among themselves, this is the heir, come let us kill him and seize on his inheritance. Now we see how this is starting to develop. Because when Christ came, what did the Jews do to Christ? Did they receive him as with open arms as their Savior? Did they say, this is the Christ, the Anointed One, and receive him? No. Absolutely not. They did not receive him. In fact, the scriptures tell us in John chapter 1, verse 11, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. You see, Jesus was a Jew. And those of us who are born again believers, those of us who don't just identify with Christ, but who actually has the true nature of the Spirit of God within us, we are Jews. We are spiritual Jews. In fact, we read about that in Romans, I believe it is. Romans chapter 8. I think it is Romans chapter 8, 28. I don't have that scripture on hand. I thought it was in Romans chapter 8, verses 28 and 29. But in the scriptures, if you look it up yourselves, God talks about the Jew being a spiritual Jew. For he is not a Jew which is one inwardly. Neither that circumcision is one that is outwardly. But he's not a Jew outwardly, but he is a Jew inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart. I'm sorry I didn't have that scripture on hand, but Jews are spiritual in nature because we identify with Christ. But the outward Jew, this is the point where we're trying to draw here from this text, that they received him not. The outward Jew, the nation of Israel, God says in John chapter 1, verse 11, they received him not. And the scribes had one desire, and one desire alone, and that was to kill him. And what about all these prophets they killed? Where do we see that? Turn for a moment to Matthew chapter 23. Matthew chapter 23, verse 37. God says here, O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. You see, it was the Jews. It was those who identified themselves with the Word, who said they had the Word, who said they were a part of God's family, but were not a part of God's true spiritual family that killeth the prophets. Same thing happening today. As we see those who identify themselves as Christians, who have another gospel, that when those of us, anyone who comes with the true gospel, the gospel that says we're sinners, and we talk about God's election program, that God chose people from before the foundations of the world for those of us who talks about Christ paying for sins before the foundations of the world, that God talks about in Revelation chapter 13, verse 8, that he's the lamb slain before the foundations of the world. And many other truths that the Bible talks about. That gospel is being killed out. And this is God's statement, so we know that it's true. And we find other references of this nature in the New Testament, that the prophets were killed and that they were destroyed as they came. We see, for an example, with Jeremiah, who was a weeping prophet. They wanted to kill him. We see Zechariah was killed. We see John the Baptist came and was killed. And so basically Israel did not want Christ. They did not want anything to do with God in any way. Not in God's way. They wanted the vineyard to be what they wanted it to be. However, when we look at this, we see that the fruit was not damaged in any way. We don't notice this right away, but when you read this parable, it says here he sent his prophets and he sent his son to receive fruit, but it never said it did not bear fruit. God, for his own purpose and reason, overlooked that. Let us go back to Isaiah chapter 5. We're probably winding down with time right now. Because that vineyard is being treated altogether differently in Isaiah chapter 5. And I'm looking now, I believe my time is just about up, so we will continue from this point on, going back to Isaiah chapter 5, talking about this vineyard and comparing it to Matthew chapter 21, which is the same vineyard. Matthew chapter 21, that vineyard was given to another. God took that vineyard from national Israel and gave it to the church. And we will see how God, in Isaiah chapter 5, destroyed that vineyard. So we'll pick up from there next time. Until next time, may God bless you. And study these things, please. Don't take my word for it. Don't trust me for anything. Don't trust any man for that cause, because we ought to be trusting the Bible and the Bible alone. Never trust the Bible teacher. We're just men with a message. Take the advice that God gives us in Acts chapter 17 to search these things to see if these things are true that I'm talking about. And until next time, may God bless you, and to God be the glory.
Hello and welcome to Tea and Cornbread, a conversation with Sean and Tracy. I am Sean.
And I'm Tracy.
And we are talking to you all that are 50 and fabulous.
And don't forget handsome.
And we want you to know that we want to get some education happening,
Yes.
some empowerment.
We want to grow with you. We want to learn with you. We want to see what you're doing, 50 and over.
So like, share, comment, follow, subscribe,
Grab your tea.
and grab your tea. All right. Hey, y'all. It's Tea and Cornbread with Sean and Tracy.
Happy day, people.
I am your host, Sean.
And I am Tracy.
And we are going to do our breathing like we normally do, and then we're going to go right into this awesome conversation. You know we always have awesome conversations. All righty, so we're going to do our deep breathing. We're going to put our feet flat. And we're going to inhale through our nose. I have eucalyptus happening, and we have clarity, and eucalyptus is going to open up our lungs. There's people that are stuffy. This is that time of year where people are dealing with allergies and stuff like that. So we're using eucalyptus today. So we're going to do our deep breathing. We're going to do it 3 times and get ready for this session.
Yes.
All right?
Let's go.
We're inhaling our intent for this session today. And we're going to exhale all that doesn't serve us. And the stress that, we might have been rushing this morning or whatever, we're going to let that go. All right. One more time. We also got our tea and cornbread today, too.
Yes.
All right. So, Tracy, how was your weekend?
My weekend was very relaxing.
Was it?
Nothing major went on, and how about you?
Oh, my goodness. It was relaxing, actually. Yeah. I got out of work early yesterday, so that was good.
That's a good thing.
Right?
That's not of the norm for you.
Right. And so that was cool, and was able to get home and chill, really chill.
Yes.
Even though I had some things I need to do, but I'll do those today.
She will not slow down, people.
No, not at all. But I'm so excited because the conversation that we're going to have today is with Miss Yonique Hendricks. And Miss Yonique, I met Miss Yonique maybe a couple of years ago, right? Yes. A couple of years ago during Black Women United, they were honoring people in the community that does health and wellness and stuff like that. And
kickoff.
Yeah, and I was
nice.
like, what? All right. So I was excited about that. And they've been doing some really, really great things ever since I met them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so I want to have them on. Arlanda is the founder of Black Women United and the head coordinator of Girl Trek. And she couldn't be with us, so she sent the next best thing. She has some awesome women that works with her, and that's part of her team. And so we were excited to have anybody from the team. And so when Yonique said, I'll be there tomorrow, I was like, all right, cool. Yonique has been working for DMHAS, right? They call it DEMAS, right?
Yes.
For over 19 years in the state of Connecticut. Mm-hmm. And how many children do you have?
I have 3.
You have 3 children?
I have 3.
Awesome. And like I said, she is unique. unique, right? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, good morning, Good morning, everyone. So I'm the president of Black Women United. I am also, again, like Sean just said, I've been working with the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services over 19 years. I am a Waterbury resident, a mother, a wife, friend, colleague, and a community activist. So I'm very passionate about the things that we do.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Name a little bit about the things you do.
Well, you want me to focus on Black Women United or
whatever?
Okay.
Whatever you want us to know.
Well, you know what? So like how we're going to focus on Black Women United, I'll do that. Because if I do go into so many things, you're going to be like, how do you have enough time?
It's okay.
I'm like, I don't know either. Right. With God's grace, I make it happen.
Yes, God's grace.
So with Black Women United, we're a group of women from other organizations. Either we are the founders, executive member for a different community organization. We came together because we were all sisters in different ways. We all volunteered and worked together in different capacities. But then a couple years ago, we came together and just say, you know what, the city of Waterbury, we see a lot of organizations. We've been a part of a lot of organizations, but we really want to focus on Black women and then women in general, right? But a lot of times, the reason why we focus to say Black women first, because again, as Black women, we really are the bottom of the totem pole. We really do so much for everyone else, and then we forget ourselves. So certain things that we look at, you know, spiritual, emotional, physical, just health and wellness. So through that, with that focus, we look to collaborate with other organizations, because we're not just saying that it's just Black Women United. We're here. We like to partner and collaborate with everyone, because it's a unique concept where we bring forth other organizations that's already here creating certain things and putting a focus on it, and we just like to do that. You know, teamwork is the best work.
Right.
So a lot of the things that you see us do, we really always try to focus on educating and empowering women in our community. Some of the things that you guys may hear of or attend, we have our annual Mother's Day, where we always honor the hidden gems in our community.
Nice.
So that's something that we love to focus on, because women are in our community doing things passionately, right? And it's just maybe a group of people that know that they always do it, and they're doing it out of the
kindness, the love,
And I was just like, so when we attend a lot of the stuff, and we do it, and we're just like, we want to highlight these women,
acknowledge them,
exactly, the hidden gems in our community, doing things uniquely for the women in our community. So those are stuff that we like to focus on and put a spotlight on in Waterbury.
Nice. And maybe you did say, how long have you, Black Women United, been in
existence?
Yes.
Like 4 years.
Nice.
At least 4 years. 4 going on 5 years.
Nice. And something you said that I like, you said you'd like to highlight women that are doing things. They're not running around tooting their own horn. They don't have to let the world know. The newspaper isn't always there. The cameras are not always going. They're not doing it for that purpose. I'm not saying that, you know, people that get that spotlight, there's anything wrong with it. But like you said, the hidden gems. And this is a way to reach those women. Not, you know, women of color, but all women.
Exactly.
Nice.
And to let them know that what you're doing is beneficial
it's appreciated.
And helpful.
Yes.
And we value you and we honor you. We just, please continue to do it.
Absolutely. Man, bottom line, we hear you.
Yes.
We hear you and we see you.
And we see you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's the reason why we want to have you guys on.
Okay.
Because you guys are doing just that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And doing more than I expected from you just saying what you just said. And it's like, oh, all right, you know, because I see you all everywhere.
Yeah, so let's toot your horn.
Yeah, right? I see you everywhere. And I love that. So when you say that, you know, you guys are always just kind of like highlighting the hidden gems and things like that, the one of the other things that are happening coming up soon is the breast cancer.
Yes. So we do have our My Sister's Keeper. This is this year's theme. It's going to be October 14th at Fulton Park, 9 a.m. So we're going to be doing a breast cancer walk. We're going to be also having a brunch. And then we're also honoring 9 phenomenal survivors in condemn we're also doing a memorial for everyone else for their past lost loved ones. So if you have some time, please come on out to Fulton Park. It's going to be a really good event. We have a lot of speakers, and then we also have other organizations that's coming out providing some services. For one is Hartford Health. So you know, everybody hear about the breast cancer, the mobile breast cancer, mammogram, but they're also going to be there, not the bus, but they're going to be setting up appointments for everyone who wants to get a free mammogram. But they also have other services that we find that is needed in the city of Waterbury for those who are undocumented and also uninsured.
to make sure.
Nice.
So
those are some. They received a grant, so they're also going to be doing that. So they're going to be highlighting that day. One of our keynote speaker, Grace Clark, she's a survivor and phenomenal. She's all over the state and go to other states to speak and to talk about breast cancer survivor. So anyone come on out. It's a great event.
Yeah, awesome.
That is awesome.
My honor is going to be one of the honorees. Yes. Miss Belva
nice.
Is going to be one of the honorees. So I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to go and everything to see what you guys are doing. One of the things that I love about you guys too is your focus. Yes, is on Black women, and it's okay, right? And wellness for Black women, all the way around. Mental, mental health, physical health, especially physical health. Physical health. I love that because you guys do the walk. Talk about Girl Trek and what Girl Trek has been doing. And how many years has Girl Trek? I think that might be. I think that's like maybe
with Orlando. Oh my goodness,
3 or 4 or 5.
Oh no, it's a little more than Black Women United.
Okay,
so we're looking like 6, 7 probably.
Okay.
So with Girl Trek is a national movement. But again, you know what? When an organization have a strong, compassionate founder. Or a coordinator who's passionate about what she does. Yeah, you see that in her work. Yeah, I swear her mind just keep going, just like different ideas, different events, and and she also look at what's happening in the community to let us know like, oh, this is good. Let's go and support it. So. I don't know how she's. I don't even know if she's everywhere, right? I don't even know. I say my hats go off to you, Orlando. I was like, and we're just like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's do it. Yeah. So with Girl Track now, with the national movement, with Orlando and NHS, they came together to say recreate it in the city of Waterbury. It was there before, but just really start it back up again, so it doesn't fall to the wayside. So again, that takes consistency and making sure even if one person shows up, we're walking.
Oh, nice.
Okay?
Right.
I'm not the best with walking, so don't look for me.
But she's there. When you show up, that's all that matters, right?
I show up when I can, because I'm telling you. I tell them, we walking in the trees, and I'm like, I can't do it. I'll be right here waving everybody on.
Right, waving everybody on.
But with Girl Track, and then part of that, not just to do the weekly walk, because a part of the movement is basically just making sure that women, Black women, take the time to say 20 minutes a day or once a week. We started out
self-care.
Slowly, yes. So it's just to say, put yourself first. So we're not demanding an hour a day or anything. So it just started to say 1 day, 20-minute walk, and we stick to it.
Okay.
And then it just gradually moved from there. We move from different locations depending on the season. But it's year round. So we didn't just stop to say it's only in the summertime.
Right.
Because, health and wellness, fitness
daily.
is all day, all
every
year.
day. Yes.
So from there, the sisterhood just came together, and it's just consistent. And then, different ideas. But then on top of that, with the walks, we look at different things that's going on in the community. If there's a spiritual event, like when, we'll say, okay, they're doing mind, body, and soul. We'll look at that, collaborating and doing different events to focus on health and wellness. Those are some of the stuff. So that's where the Waterbury Girl Track is a little different than others, because it's not just about walking every week. We look at different things. We're looking at fitness over 40. That's where it's starting up. The double dutch.
I was gonna get there.
We gonna make sure Waterbury's on the back. I can't tell you if I can double dutch. Actually, I can't. So I'm gonna try.
That's all right. You gonna try?
I am gonna try. I may get it, but with being consistent, I may do like 60 seconds.
Right.
That's something, though.
Yeah,
that's something.
It's something. Yep.
But just start slow. Being consistent. We can see that now pretty much like 6 years. nonstop.
Nice.
Like Girl Track is embedded in certain areas, and then when you're having conversation, people know it.
Yep.
Yes.
You know, they're like, no, Waterbury, we have that. We look at that, or say if it's Christmas time or Thanksgiving, I want to do something, but I don't want to go to Planet Fitness. I don't want to do this. I want to see more people. At least people and women, they know something is here in the city, and you can always show up. We welcome all.
So that's what I was going to say. The Girl Track, is there an age limit, or is it open to? Okay, you can walk. You can come in.
That's right. You can bring your daughter. You could bring your cousin. You could bring anyone.
Do you have
ages.
a lot of that? Sorry. Do you have a lot of family, mothers, children? People bring grandchildren. Or okay, good. Yeah.
And so, right now, you guys are walking at Fulton Park, correct?
Correct.
On Saturdays, what time again?
9
a.m. on Saturdays. Okay. And you
just walk around Fulton Park. Okay.
Do 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. And then sometime with the sisterhood, we say 30 minutes. We always stick to that.
Okay.
But then it always go into something else. The double dutch is starting, and the conversation is starting. They may do another 30 minutes, or they may jog, So it's going at your pace. Some people, they walk slower, and they need that to say a peace of mind and just having that stability and that consistency. You have some people who are runners, and they'll walk, they'll run. We have power walkers. So again, it's
all different levels.
Exactly.
And that's good to see, because people get intimidated. If I come and everybody's leaving me, I don't want to come back next week.
Yeah, but no, with Girl Track, we really focus on that and never leave someone behind.
Yeah,
regardless
and that's what we should do.
Or regardless if we're the powerful walkers, when we see how many, one person is always the lead to say direct people.
And somebody coming up the back.
In the middle, and then someone covers the back.
Yes.
No
Awesome.
one left behind.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
So, y'all hear that? Girl Track, there's no excuse for walking or getting some exercise done, because there's someone out there that can walk, that you can walk with. There's a community. Pace. Yes, there's a community where you're not judged, and it's open to anyone. Come on out at Fulton Park, 9:00. Right now, this is during the season, right? And so once the season breaks, once it gets cold, you guys go into the mall? Or?
Yes, we're going to the mall. So I would like to tell people, please go on Facebook. It's always up to date, real time. Orlando is very good at that.
Yeah.
So if the weather is changing, something happened, you will see the cancellation. So our Facebook account is Girl Track is always up to date, and you will see different events and activities and all that, and where the location is going to be. Like if something is happening in Fulton Park or even the mall, there's another location, it will be updated.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
So you all go on out there. Girl Track is doing it, and it costs nothing. You don't have all you have to do is show up, and
with a smile too.
With a smile, yeah, absolutely.
If you don't show up with a smile, you're gonna end with a smile.
Okay. Yes. Attitudes get checked at home.
But by the time you come, you have so many things going on. But by the time you get there and we have that sisterhood, you forget all that, and then at the end you're like, you know what? I came here with so much burden, and so many things going. My to-do list, my thing.
This is Sean Johnson from North End Cooperative Market. Our countdown is here. The fall harvest is happening October 9th at 12 to 4 p.m. It's located at Grace Baptist Church parking lot at 65 Kingsbury Street in Waterbury, Connecticut. Bring your family, bring your friends. We're going to have some farmers that's going to talk about farming and growing your own food. We're going to have some panelists that's going to talk about what a co-op is and what the co-op is going to do for our community and how you can be a part of it. So let's go, let's grow, let's come together, let's bring unity in our community. And this is October 9th, 2023 at 65 Kingsbury Street, Waterbury, Connecticut, Grace Baptist Church. Have a great and amazing day. I hope to see you. Bring your family, bring your friends, and come and have a great time.
Yes, and then for that 30 minutes or so,
you forget about
we
it.
help you forget it.
Yeah.
We help you focus on yourself.
I love it.
Laugh and talk and do some stuff, and then we're just like, okay, now we all gonna go back to our stressful life. hopefully we decrease the stress maybe like 50%. But you know, coming together and just saying that again, just like today's broadcast, it was just real.
Yeah,
right.
And we're just human.
Yeah.
We're lifing.
Right. We're lifing, right?
We're just getting by.
Everybody's lifing. But they're lifing together because community, you know, brings the stress down. You know what I'm saying? Community is very key and important in people's lives, in the wellness and health of people's lives.
Definitely. You get to learn a lot about a person, even in 30 minutes, you know, walking, because even when we walk with the gym that I go to, that's what happened. You walk with somebody, you end up with somebody you may not have started the walk with, and you're talking and you're walking and you're learning more about each other. So it's a great thing that you ladies are doing, definitely.
And you may learn something that you never knew.
Right.
You may be going through something, and then someone you're walking with went through it, could help you.
Definitely.
So again, it's just like, you know, put away the negativity, put away the self-doubt,
open mind,
you know, the fear of certain things.
Absolutely.
And then to know that you have someone else who kind of walked that path, that you're coming through it, can be very beneficial. Because sometimes, a lot of time in the Black community, we suppress so many things, and we feel like we're in it by ourselves.
Or you're afraid to be judged, so you don't want to say.
You go.
You don't, you know. It's like you said.
Or we have to keep putting that front on because we have the S on
I gotta
our
have
chest.
them shoulders. Yep.
Got the S on our chest, and it's like, no, I don't want the S this week. I want the G.
Yes, I want to relax. Listen to me. Yeah, help me.
Or no letter at all.
Some days I can't even make it to B.
Right? How about that?
I'm just trying to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So we want to make sure that everything that you guys are doing is mentioned. How could anyone be a part of? Are you guys looking for more people to be a part of? Either Black Women United or Girl Check or either any other organization that you guys are a part of? What is like the next few things that are happening by the end of the year?
Oh, a lot of things.
I know.
There's a lot of things at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So definitely we are always looking for volunteers, people who want to donate, sponsorship, for upcoming events. So we're always open. Our Facebook site will give you our email address and also phone numbers. You could contact myself, Yonique Hendricks, Arlonda Brantley, Miss Ireland, Latoya Ireland, Charlene Bell. So definitely just reach out to us. So some of the upcoming, especially like how this is. Yeah, she's
one of my oldest friends.
Oh yeah, Charlene is there.
Okay.
I have to poke her. Oh, wow.
I know. Tell her like, how you ain't tell me.
Right.
So some of the other upcoming things that we're also a part of and collaborating with. So you have Halloween. We'll be there with Big and Bold Joyce Reed.
Okay. Yep.
With the Halloween event that's happening in the North End Rec.
At the Rec. Yeah.
Also for not going to Thanksgiving. In November, we're doing, again, our second annual Veterans Day.
Okay.
Honoring Black veteran women.
Yep.
It's going to be at City Hall.
Yep.
And actually the Friday, Veterans Day. And then we're also doing a Thanksgiving. We're working on that right now to see if it's going to be a pack and go, if we're going out to the community, or it's going to be at a location.
Okay.
So we're going to be partnering and collaborating with Joyce Reed with that. For Thanksgiving. Christmas, we're still in the works for that. Probably looking at end of the year self-care, you know. So we're going to be looking at different things. And I know we're talking about probably sponsoring a family, because I know there's so many other organizations that have a lot of things to go.
Yeah, doing this.
So we're looking at how we're going to be doing that.
Okay. Awesome. So we will make sure that we keep our listeners abreast of that.
Definitely.
We'll, and put the information in on the description, your links and all of that will be in the description of this session. I don't know why I keep calling this session interview.
It's okay.
Yeah. We'll make sure that we'll have the links, and if you have flyers or anything like that that are already done, just text them to me.
Yes, everything is on Facebook.
Okay, I'll go to Facebook and get everything.
Black Women United Facebook, Girl Track Facebook.
Okay.
Oh, it's up there.
Okay. All right.
Sometimes I may take a while to look at it,
but it's up there.
That's what happened with the team. The team is good.
Yeah.
You wait for me.
I get it. I'm the same way. I'll be like Kyle.
She's on top of that stuff.
No.
Sean is on top of that stuff.
Look,
I'm the one she be saying,
it's
did you do this? Did you do your Instagram? Where's your Facebook? I'll be like, I don't do that.
I know. Arlanda is good. She is so good.
Oh,
she knows all of us, our strengths, our weaknesses.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, the interview. I was like, I'll be there.
You're like, the interview. I got this.
Yep. And so this was great. It was easy.
Thank you.
And I learned some stuff that I didn't know that's going on in the community with your organization, which is awesome too. So hopefully our listeners also have been abreast, and they're going to join in, reach out if they need
participate.
Walk health wise.
Exactly.
So this was great. I'm glad that we have you up here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for having us.
And we'll have to do it again because November's coming and December's coming. So
let the people know what you got going on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll have to do that again.
Definitely.
And have some more tea and cornbread.
Yes.
So what am I thinking? I'm blank. I took a.
That's okay.
Did a blank.
That's okay. Because I think she covered so much our questions we didn't even have to ask them because you just laid it out for us, which is awesome. We appreciate that.
That's one of the things it just popped up in my head too.
Okay.
Another part of our focus with Black Women United to say the health and wellness, and I know it's like a national thing that's going on. People will hear about Day 43, right? Black maternal health.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So that's something that we were like throughout the year. We were partnering and collaborating with Bridge to Success of Waterbury, really to focus on that. So we did like a series of walking with the docs,
right? Yeah.
At Fulton Park, again, bringing women of the city to have a doctor that specializes in certain areas coming out while we're doing walking, having lunch, breakfast, and then really leaving with something new. And maybe a clear understanding of something that we weren't familiar with to say, wow, I did not know about that with diabetes.
Right.
I did not know being a
Yes.
Black woman, my percentage is this high.
Right.
So things like that, you will see the collaboration with Black Women United and other organizations to do it. Why take something that someone else is already doing and let's both do this together?
They're joint forces. Yes.
So each one, Bridge to Success, Black Women United, Girl Track, all the websites are up. So many community events and opportunities to find out what's happening in the city of Waterbury. So please feel free. With all your listeners, look at the Facebook. Everything is always uploaded and there.
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
Nice.
That series was amazing. That series was amazing. It started early in the year. It was all year, I believe, right?
Yeah, we did it for 6 months.
Okay, that started early in the year, and I love the collaboration of that because it was, enlightening, and it also allow people to be in the room that might not ever ask questions.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they were afraid to go to the doctor for whatever.
Yeah.
Or didn't know that they should go to the doctor
That's
for
what it is.
certain things.
Yeah, I feel good.
Right.
I don't need to go.
Right.
I don't need a checkup.
Yeah, yeah. And so I thought that was amazing. And sharing that with clients and stuff like that, and letting clients know and stuff like that. I just kept saying this was genius. You know what I mean?
It takes a lot of work, but is the ending result.
The end result, right, is
Right.
to each one teach one. First off, right?
You love my saying.
Oh, is it?
I love it.
Exactly. Each one teach one.
Exactly.
And then you learn something that you can incorporate in your life individually and also collectively.
Yes.
And then you know that you're not alone. That's another thing too, is you get out there and you hear people's stories or testimonies or doctors will say, listen, you don't have to go through this.
Correct.
This doesn't have to happen. You can do this or you can do that. Or, you know, even for myself, thank you. And I was a part of, I was honored to be a part of the, you know, the event, and being able to say to people, you know, listen, just because you've been with allergies all your life doesn't mean
Two-tone L-E-L-N-E-S-S-N. Yes, we are the very best. $7 popping collars, eating shrimp by the dollar. Met some girls in Guatemala, now they trying to holler. Now before they wouldn't bother, now I'm trying to be a scholar, cause she giving all the knowledge to me. Knowledge to me. Doing homework every night of the week. Plus she chillin' up at college with me. College with me, but we cruising, man. Rolling up at 430. Kush same color as a Kobe Road jersey. Oh, a throwback worthy. Giraffe ass high. Fresh breeze just passing us by. Cause I'm cruising on a Sunday afternoon. I got my good shoes on. Ain't got no bad news. Here's what you say to the lady. Let me squeeze ya. Oh, let me hold ya. Oh, let me squeeze ya. Oh, let me hold ya. Why? Cause I don't wanna leave this party, baby, without you. What you waiting for? Hop in the ride. Okay. What you waiting for? Hop in the ride. So I arrive at a party at 9. I reside beside Sim. Think I'm fly. Time's on my side. But look again, and it's 11 p.m. Chalk it on the board. Time to sin. Let's begin. Hey, you're kinda cute, and I got the loot to befriend both you and your girlfriend too.
You single, Tim Jones?
Well, that depends. Just then she turned to a friend and she said,
I really like him.
Say word.
I really like him.
Oh yeah.
I really like.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BCC-TV. I'm Papa T, proud to be here with you today. I want to extend our gratitude to the folks to my right, your left out there in TV land, none other than Jose Coco Velez.
Hello, what's up, Papa T?
Also, JDX. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you know, one of the things that I would like to extend is our guest in the audience today from the clock hour, none other than Timekeeper 35, Marvin Kennel. We also want to extend to the chief engineer in the back, making all this magical surroundings happening here, and none other than the outstanding Big Al. With that being said, we are addressing a fantastic subject matter today, and the subject matter is stipulation and ramification, and I'm hoping that we can give it the address that it deserves, because those are two magnificent terms. With that being said, I'm going to pass it to my right, anyone that would like to pick up on that subject issue, and open up the floor.
How's it going, Papa T? How's it going, Daniel?
Everything fantastic, good, fantastic.
Well, it's good to be back here. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, sir.
We're always talking about good stuff, talking about ramifications and stipulations. Stipulations is the rules or what's going on. What's the deal that we got, or the negotiation that we're going to be. Stipulations to everything. You have to, with every action, there's reaction. There's always something, a chain of effects. So stipulation is what happens in these chain of effects, or what is allowed to happen, or what can happen in certain situations or dealings. And ramifications is always what comes of it. So
the result of it.
Everything you do, you always have to expect a result doing the show with you, you know what I mean, I had a part to play, but you don't realize how big it might be overall. Exactly. You know what I mean? You feel like, oh, can I get some shine? And you're like, look how much shine you got, bro. It's all out there.
There you go.
So there's always a ramification for what you do, and stipulation. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that in everything. A little bit of stipulation, a little bit of ramifications, a lot of bit of ramifications.
Yeah, because last night we had a nice topic on stipulation, right?
Yes, sir.
And what we really discussed, it was about life itself, the issue of life, so and the reward and the benefits, and what is the purpose of all those things comes together, and because the ramification of the true understanding about stimulation was that to us, the life we are living today, is it the reality of what we know, or what can we learn from what we have learned to relearn ourselves? Because today we are living in a world where everything you know is like it's a fairy tale story with a big cover up on it. And now for us to expose that truth, the reality of the truth that is behind that stimulation, that they gave us the idea of who you are and who we are, and you know, and truth is manifesting itself in a light that it's uncovering darkness out of.
Okay, I'm going to see if I'm picking up exactly what you gentlemen are saying. When you're speaking about stipulation, you're talking about something that's applied to any situation or circumstance.
Yes, sir.
And if we look at today, for instance, I heard something to the fact about, well, actually two major stories, current events. One was on the issue of fentanyl, right? How deadly and dangerous it is, and how it's spreading throughout the nation, where it's coming from and what some of the circumstances could be, how it's getting here, right? And its effects, right? And I would like to know, talking about fentanyl, but I'm going to give you the other subject matter too. The other subject matter is we've been in a state of seclusion almost, and exclusion because of COVID-19, right? And now I hear that it is no longer a national or international emergency, right? So I want you to take those two terms, stipulation and ramification, and elaborate on those two subject matters, if you gentlemen will.
But just as you said, fentanyl, I was just coming as I brought it to your attention that it kills 78,000 people a year. Yes. Now, for it to come into our square of life, from wherever it's coming from, that means we, the consumer, have a problem. And by us at the consumer part of that lifestyle to be produced in from a foreign country to come to us. I want to know what I'm looking at is that why are we so sick to allow such a dreadful and deadly thing like, you know, fentanyl come into this country, and we are the one that's the victim of it because we are so receptive. And
not to cut you off, but not even victim. Let's use the term consumer.
Consumer, yeah. So we are the consumer. What gives us that desire to be such a consuming people, to be the one that is so gullible, to take it when we know for the end of the year, 78,000 people can lose their life. And as you brought it to my attention, in one day, you said?
Yes, sir.
100 reaching the hospital.
That's just in New Haven, Connecticut alone.
It's all over. People are.
And the ramification of it is that the result, 100 in a day in the hospital, 78,000 in a year. Now, we're not talking, if that's just the one it affects, what is the percentage of those that are doing it?
Exactly.
It makes you think, like, why somebody would go out their way to do something like that when they know the ramifications of drugs or certain chemicals or things. It means that people really want to find a way to get away or to whatever reason they do it, an addiction, mental health. So always come back to some kind of mental health. That's sort of what you're saying, where we're blinded by what's on TV and look what this person got. Look at this. Why can't I get it? Even though you can in a certain way, but you have to be educated towards it in a certain. Like there's a lot of king talk and finding yourself and who you are as a person and what you bring to the world or what you mean to the world. So if you know the ramifications is death and losing yourself and other people losing you in the process, you're cutting off your wheels to the machine or something. You know what I mean? It's like
I like that term, cutting your wheels to the machine. The thing is that the reason that I just interjected a little when Brother JDX was speaking is because of the fact that we as a country, especially here in America, we are the largest consumers in the whole entire world, right? So my whole thing is this. We have become so weak. And in becoming so weak, not just physically, because almost over 70% of the people are out of shape, right? Mentally. Now we want to jump on the mental illness bandwagon, right? We're the victims, right? We are not victims here in America of anything. We are consumers. We are the superpower, right? We do the things that we do because we elect to do them. And until we stop creating these organizations that feed off of these demises, we're going to continue to be the major consumers. We're going to continue to become weaker and weaker in the process. And the stipulation that needs to be put on the results of what we do is a serious ramification. And the ramification has to be severe. Mm-hmm. That's the only way. The gentleman, I believe his name was Ferdinand Marco or something like that in the Philippines, and people were selling drugs, and he just terminated them.
Duarte.
Yeah, whatever his name was. Yeah, what was his name?
Duarte.
Yes.
That was the president, right?
Yeah. Whoever was, I'm trouble with names, but the actual fact is that they were terminating people to death.
Yes,
I'm not saying that we need to do that here, but it has to be something severe. The ramification has to be severe. And that's just talking about fentanyl, right? Let's go to COVID now, and let's see if we can address some of the issues of COVID and as far as stipulation and ramification.
It was sort of talking about that where your focus, so a lot of things flashed on the TV or the news, certain to grab your attention and get you away from other things that might get your attention. Not saying that's necessarily what COVID was or the fentanyl outbreaks and all this, but it's so people can look at it. You got to pay attention to yourself, because when you talk about the government or victimizing and this and that, ultimately it's you that's making the choice to do it. Sometimes you get stipulations and you gotta let me do this whatever, but ultimately it's you that's gonna do it. And who's benefiting off it are the prison systems, the drug dealers, or whatever.
Centers.
They keep rehab centers anywhere.
It's always the system who's benefiting.
Something's connecting off of it. So it's up to us. If I'm gonna get my people better, mentally and physically, I got to get myself better mentally, physically. Stop buying, consuming junk and things that are going to hurt you or useless product.
Yeah. But as we was discussing the mental state of the people, I truly believe we are so dead spiritually likewise, because when we lost the focus of our Creator, because a man is nothing, no matter how much he possesses, no matter how much you can give him or her the whole world. At the end of the day, on what does your faith, the source of your life, stand? It says that, because if you have no value in because people in this country right now, there is no God.
Before we get cut
off, in this country, there is no God, because you can do whatever you want.
Everybody hold their thought. And that's exactly where my mind was going, is the fact that the scripture tells you that in the end they would say that he delays his coming and everybody would just start doing whatever they want. Hold your thoughts. We're going to come right back. We're going to pay homage to our sponsors for this particular show today. We'll be right back. Gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
We started a program, Big Al and myself, some years ago in regards to mothers who are no longer here, giving them the same love and appreciation as the mothers who are here. And I just want to say happy Mother's Day to the mothers here and the mothers that are here with us in spirit.
Hey, happy Mother's Day, Mom, Lisa, Diaz, everybody. Love y'all.
And to all the wonderful mothers all around the world, especially today we are living in a world where 60% of all the household are run by mothers. I just want to wish those wonderful mothers all the best. And I know you guys have a double portion of work to do, but for love and appreciation, I want you to know that you are always in our heart. We love you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back as I ask these gentlemen to hold their concepts and thoughts. I know that can be a hard thing to do. First, I want to extend a special welcome back to Jose.
Hey, Papa T.
He's back. He's like he never missed a beat. He's still on fire. And Danny, the regulator of the panel of the few. I just want you folks to feel the passion and the fire of the urgency of the moment. We are allegedly no longer in an emergency state with COVID, right? But the thing is, we're in an emergency state of people coming together and coming to the reality of whatever their supreme beliefs is, because we're facing serious times ahead. With that being said, I'm going to toss this back over to you, gentlemen, and you can continue where you left off.
Now, as I was saying earlier, Pops, because we're living in a country where God has been extinct. Because it's like we put off the fire of God. And in the school, you can't discuss God. Even in the religious world, look at the way people live. It's all about money and vanity. The whole preaching of the minister has no power to even save the deadest person in the church, because his whole idea is the dollar sign for you to
and ideology,
and because it's a blessings kingdom, and they cannot uplift you up because there is no power from them themselves, because they don't think of you as any other thing than a business proposal, because that's what you went to school for. And having a true understanding of God, every one of us is a temple. And when we can take that temple and bury it underneath the trash of this system, and not come into our true knowledge of the power that's within our own self to uplift ourselves to the standard of real gods and goddess on the face of the earth, especially from the foundation of the knowledge of the education that you are getting in the system, it is an education that is debasing you, not to uplift you. Because that educational system is more there to doctrinate you than to educate you. Because if you are educated, you're going to be a person of knowledge and understanding of your true self and of your true of the environment that you are living in.
You can't be led into the darkness.
You cannot led into the darkness. And when you're looking at the world we are living in today, the people are going astray deeply, and we have such a terrible condition living in, because we talk about thousands of drugs today, and we were just only discussing one.
Exactly.
And in that one alone, it can kill so many people, and there are others. We were just talking about a few. You can get superhuman power through some of those drugs, but you will never recover after you finish to get that superhuman power. Then you will see me as a piece of chicken and want to eat me too.
So in that darkness, is there any light that you would like to shine on that, Jose?
I think, like to piggyback on it, it's that belief in the higher, that there's something bigger than you. Like I was talking earlier, it's like we were at a moment where people are really starting to want to learn who they are and try to figure out more about themselves. So when you start realizing that there's more to you, there's more to this earth, some people, it may go to their head a little bit. So we live in a savage country where I gotta be, that's my girl, that's my money, isn't it?
Everything is mine.
So everything's mine, and when that happens, you're a king, right? But you have a kingdom next to you. That's not your kingdom. So you have to treat it, because he could come to war with you. And so it's like you have a lot of big responsibility if you want to claim to be a king. If you want to claim to be something like that, you can't just and do everything you want, because it doesn't work that way. And the distractions that they give you, there's just distractions, because like you said, today's fentanyl, yesterday it was COVID, the day before that it was, and it's always going to be a fear. But you don't have to have fear if you really know who you are, stay true to who you are, and have a purpose.
So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of all knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. right? So the thing is that when we talk about that fear, it has to be regulated in a manner that it's actually absorbable by everyone, and you have to find a method. And that method of actually being attractive or magnetic to every and anyone has to be your stipulation today. Your stipulation every day that you set out, when you return home or when you lay your head to rest, whether it's for a short nap or whatever, should be to determine, who have I helped today? Who have I assisted in the path of the light? Understand? Rather than assisting in any shape, form, or fashion and leading them further into the darkness. And the ramification for all the injustices, all the ignorance, all the illiteracy, has to be that truth and has to be that power and that light. That must be our daily task. That is definitely the task of the few. The last standing that is willing to say, I'm not going to fall victim to the system of injustice, the system of darkness, the system of pain, of hurt, harm, and danger. I will uplift. I want you guys to address it from that standpoint, and let's lift these people up.
I see it like that. Like, you have to think about it. We came from a creator or whatever. We feel that way. We come here. We're all born of some sin where nobody's like really perfect. We are perfect, but we ain't perfect in that way, in the true righteous light. So we have to be like, you got to look at it like, we're here to help someone. Like you're saying, you're here to help someone, so you got to have that purpose. You got to do it. And you know what I mean? I just lost track of what I was going to say, but that's the way it goes.
You're right. When I look at it, perhaps the life that we are living here today, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a life where we are, or as I was saying earlier, we are educated in a system, whereas they taught us that we were born in sin and shapen in iniquity. Now remember, the system that we are born in, it's a system of sin. Right. But they make us believe that we are the one born in sin. They shape us from the day we were born with that knowledge of and the educational system to make us think that. So because you have to be shaped. So you were born in sin. The system itself is sin, and then you are shaped in iniquity. So from even learning from A, B, C, D, E, F, you already been shaped into the iniquity of that system.
And what is the tools that they use to actually shape you?
Religion.
It's the media.
It's the media.
It's television, as you folks are watching right now. It's radio, and it's magazines, and it's the live events that you attend. And so we, as the few, has to go forth and say, no more.
And I don't want to cut you short, perhaps. Now, we have never come to the knowledge of a real man and a real woman because of the system that we are living in and where they educate us with. Because in reality, we are living a life of death in every area of our life, in our drinking, in our even breathing. The air is polluted, the food is poisoned, the water you drink is another toxic. So the education, everything is death. But how into the true knowledge of the spiritual life itself, for where you and I should be in the realm of true life, so that we could learn to love ourselves. We have to re-educate ourselves and go back to the source of life now to find.
That's the term. Yeah, recreation. Jose, go ahead.
It's just that. You got to think of the stipulation. The stipulation to this country, they wanted to come to this country to get away from the monarchy or the divine ruler at that time or whatever, because they felt, hey, we're not going by that because we don't believe in that. We're going to go start our own thing over here. All right, but there's going to be ramifications for the way you live. That's what you're really going to go. Like I said, as a king, if you have a divine king, you feel like you're from God, regardless of what the real belief is, whatever, you got to uphold that responsibility. If you're going to say that's your king from God, good luck.
And everybody calls themselves kings and queens today. I want you to take 1 minute as we start to wrap up, JDX, and tell us give them a stipulation and a ramification. A stipulation and a ramification.
Simple. Go back to the beginning of your life. As I always tell you, Paps, every man was born through sperm and egg. Your daddy, without your dad's sperm, no baby. Boom. From this sperm to the egg, boom. What happens right there? You become an embryo right there, right? Boom. You become a fetus, then you shape into a body, into this. You had no say in it for 9 months. There was a time in our life for 9 months, there was not Jose, there was not Papa T, there were no JDX. It was a divine hand fashioned us in that womb, in a big bowl of water, and manifest us and drop us on earth. And then we become among all different kind of people, and we get confused because everybody gave us a different kind of understanding of life. But the point still remains. They shaped us in whatever. You are Spanish, you Black American, I'm Caribbean, but we all have a different access and a different accent. And then, so we all had a different understanding about life. But the point still remains, at the end of the day, the same cry that you made when you were born, I made it. No matter which one of us. The same last breath with that same, you will do, I will do. But in that space between the day you cry and the day you will take the last breath.
Respond to that, Jose.
It's going to be the way you lead it. You have to make a choice. You have to really be...
Now, did you ever live the fullness of that life between that two spaces? Because the same hand that had fashioned you without us in silence, when you didn't have say. You follow where I'm coming from? When we didn't have no say in that space of the 9 months, we lost track of it from the moment he dropped us on the face of the earth. And we start saying, I, mine, yours, because that's what we were taught. But we were